Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
Do you guys want to go to SEC Media Days?
No.
We'll have all the audio, all the video, audio, whatever we need out of there, all the things that get said.
I'm going to be honest with you. When I said, Bo, let's do a show, I wasn't thinking about SEC Media Days. I'm going to be honest with you. Never even crossed my mind. And I hadn't even thought about it until you brought it up just now, and I'm like, oh, God, I didn't think about that.
That wasn't part of the dream?
No.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "What's heard on the Chuck and Bo
There we
show?"
go.
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
It's a huge day on the Chuck and Bo Show. I don't think even I can overstate that because the new football magazines have arrived. And word on the street is that we actually have them in the studio. Football magazines.
Hold them in
printed
your hand.
editions. Hold them up, Bart.
Yeah, actually, you hold them in your hand.
Yes.
Did you go to Barnes & Noble?
I did. I made.
You made the annual
to
voyage.
Barnes & Noble
Wow.
to get
And
the,
didn't invite us.
the magazines.
No.
here. We've got two of them.
Which ones do we have?
We've got Lindy's.
Lindy's. It wouldn't be football season without
and
Lindy's.
we've got Athlon Sports.
No, a couple of staples right there.
And Phil
Staples in the
Steele will come out
preseason.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were.
If you don't know what we're
We'll see
talking
Phil
about,
sometime next week.
if you don't know what we're talking about, I don't know what to tell you. But you can go to Barnes & Noble. And you can go over. They have I know you probably don't even know what Barnes & Noble is if you are
physical
unaware.
And
magazine.
you certainly don't know what a
Physical
periodical
magazine.
is.
Yeah, periodical.
Now, I was going down this road, and I was like, how do I explain the whole thing? Like, this is a bookstore. You go in there to the magazine section. You find sports, skip right past all the, swim, Sports Illustrated swimsuit, whatever, and then go right to the college football one. You may seem a little weird doing so, but we understand.
What are the hot magazines now? I mean, seriously, what do people pick up at the newsstand now? Or is there a newsstand?
Well,
Men's
let's
Fitness.
see.
Well, Men's Health is a big
Men's Health?
magazine. Men's Health is that's a fairly popular magazine.
I'm looking it up.
But there aren't printed
50
editions of
most
things like
popular
Newsweek or
magazines of
Time.
2024.
National Enquirer,
Well, that can't be right.
man
This
born
says,
with three heads.
This says number one is AARP, the magazine.
I believe that. Who reads magazines? Old people. I mean,
Yeah, but
it's perfectly believable.
That's what you're going to.
That's where all the cruise deals are.
That's right. That's
Let's
exactly
look-
right.
Let's
Where
look
to
at
get-
a number.
Where to get cheap coffee.
We're going to a
where to get
different side.
discounts. How to sign up for Club Med.
That's right.
Here's another
And
list.
there's probably coupons in there
Yeah.
where you fill out your sign up for a discount and you mail it in.
That's right.
You don't go online.
Absolutely. No.
You mail it in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would expect Reader's Digest to be higher on the list.
Where was it?
On this list, it's at 8.
Reader's Digest still has some good stuff in it.
Here's a real.
There's some
here's
show
a-
prep in Reader's Digest. I'm not lying to
Here's
you.
a list.
There is.
Okay, this is an
I
official
can
list.
see that.
This is an official list here.
All right.
Number one, AARP, the magazine.
I believe it.
Hold on. I got one guess. Good housekeeping.
Southern Living.
We'll get there.
Okay. All right.
Number two, AARP Bulletin.
Yes.
Double AARP.
Sweet for AARP.
Yeah.
Number three, you would never in a million years guess this.
Oh, gosh.
Because you probably didn't know it existed.
Okay.
The Costco connection.
I believe that. I believe that part too.
Come on, Sam.
Costco's
Where are
big.
you?
Number four, Better Homes and Gardens.
Yeah.
Staple.
Yeah.
Number
absolutely.
five, Reader's Digest. I kind of expected that might be number one. Number six, National Geographic. 7, Good Housekeeping.
National
Forgot about
Geographic,
National
yeah.
Geographic.
8, Game Informer. 9,
Game Informer.
Woman's Day. 10, Family Circle.
Where's People? Is it-
People is 12, lagging behind a little bit there.
Wow.
Time right behind it at 13.
Yeah.
Sports Illustrated 15.
Sports Illustrated is not even around anymore. That's the swimsuit issue.
I guess
They don't even have a
It's
Sports
like their only
Illustrated.
issue.
I guess
Yeah,
they
I think
moved
it
3
is.
million copies of the swimsuit.
Am I
issue.
wrong? I think I'm actually
I
correct
I think
about
it's just
it.
like
don't know.
special editions and stuff now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Cosmo 16.
Cosmo.
Maxim 20. Oprah's Magazine 23.
Maxim.
Glamour 25.
Remember when Maxim was huge?
Okay.
I got a lot of memories for it.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Maybe keep those to yourself.
It's great.
Who's going to be first to the mailbox for that Sports Illustrated edition?
That's right. That's great.
I got to get home early today.
Yeah.
Wow.
I hadn't thought
I'm
about
kinda
magazines.
surprised.
The only time I ever think about magazines is like this time of year. It's like, hey, are the football magazines out?
Yeah.
GQ is 99.
Magazines.
Wow.
That's surprising.
Where's Hogs Illustrated on the list?
Yeah. Where's Hogs Illustrated?
I don't know.
Magazines. It used to be everything.
Yeah.
It was a huge deal.
It was.
I don't even think they have them on airplanes anymore.
I don't recall seeing them.
I think they did away with that.
Because that's what you do when you'd fly. You'd buy a couple of magazines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they want you to log on.
Yeah.
And
It's too
watch
big of a
free
hassle
movies.
to get a magazine now.
I mean,
Well, you got your phone. I mean, you just scroll.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there, doctors' offices, there's a place for it.
There are.
Right here on the show today, we've got a place for it. Listen, we'll find this stuff. You don't have to go out and buy magazines. We'll tell you what's in there.
How much did that run you, by the way?
Yeah, really.
More than
We got about
Was
$30
$15
worth over there.
$12 on
Yeah,
one,
about $30 worth, I bet.
15 on the other.
Wow.
Yeah.
How much is Hootens now? Like $30,
Oh, my
$40?
gosh.
I mean, it's like 1,000 pages.
Yeah, it's like $30, I think.
Wow.
I got it last year because Ty was in there.
Yeah. Well, it's a keepsake.
Yeah.
You know where
son
it is
of
now?
Arkansas podcaster.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And my name was in there.
Oh.
Son of Arkansas.
Yeah.
Podcast.
I felt so
That's
terrible
a great
for him.
identifier.
Yeah.
That really
I
is.
felt so terrible for him.
Yeah.
Arkansas podcaster Bo Mattingly.
That's right.
Son, Ty.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, like, that's how people are going to introduce you now. We're going to add it to the open.
Well, I think
Hosted by-
Did they list the occupations of all the players or just you? Son of a company
I think
founder.
Barry Odom was in there too.
Okay. Barry Odom's name.
I'm pretty
was in
sure the
there.
whole thing was written by an intern.
Well,
Might
pretty good bet.
Might have been.
Pretty good bet. AI.
I'm not even. All the pictures didn't necessarily match the names, but we had pictures in there, mug shots. And anyhow, that's still around. The Hootens football magazine still around.
You just, I mean, I've not had a magazine in my hands, and I don't remember when. Every once in a while, you
today's your
still
day.
get a copy of the paper. But, yeah, toss that over here, Bart.
Today's your day. So what's in there? Are we getting into this now?
We any good?
I don't
what
know
are
that
they
we
saying?
should start with that.
What are they saying about the Razorbacks, Bart? Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Magazine Room. We go to Bart in the Chevy of Fayetteville Magazine Situation Room.
Okay.
Oh, we got music.
Yeah.
That sounds like Deal or No Deal.
Here we
This
go.
is the music we picked out.
This
This
sounds
is
like Deal or No Deal to me all of a
chosen
sudden.
for ourselves. Go
I haven't
ahead.
heard it in months.
Here we go. We'll break these up into bits here.
Okay, all right, we can turn the music down.
Last year they did just enough. Last year they did just enough to keep Pittman off the hot seat, but it will be just as difficult this season. Sam has a ton of respect, but this roster isn't going to separate them.
And you pay $12, $15 for that? I mean, you turn on the radio.
Hold on a second. Read it one more time. The last couple of sentences before the roster's not going to separate them.
Last year they did just enough to keep Pittman off the hot seat, but it will be just as difficult this season. Sam has a ton of respect, but this roster isn't going to separate them.
When is there ever anything else written about Arkansas?
What is not going to separate them mean?
They're
Separate
middle of
them
the
from
pack.
What?
They're middle of the pack.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is an anonymous quote.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. There are like 3 or 4 in each magazine.
Okay, so what?
From
what-
unnamed SEC
Yeah,
coaches.
anonymous. Yeah.
What
An
I would like to
opposing
do-
SEC assistant coach is what Athlon
If
says.
you guys are okay with it, at 6:11 here this morning. Good morning, by the way. Here's what I'd like to do.
Okay.
I'd like to assign names to these anonymous quotes.
Great.
I want it like
I'm all in.
that was Hugh Freeze. Fair enough.
Well, it does say an opposing SEC assistant coach, but sure.
Whoever
it's
his
an assistant
offensive
Yeah,
coordinator is.
Athlon says an opposing SEC assistant coach.
Okay, who's the offensive line coach at Auburn? Let's just start picking people.
Yeah.
Like let's That's a little tougher. Like that, they went. That's why they did it, because there's only
Jake
16
Thornton.
head coaches.
Yes.
But there's an infinite amount. 16 times 9?
Well, I mean, look, I'm going to imagine, and they don't go with the strict definition of assistant coach. I mean, you can be a 22-year-old GA and qualify as an assistant coach.
Well, sure.
For an article like that.
Yeah.
How about this? How about Derek Nix? It's Derek Nix, Auburn's offensive coordinator.
I don't think it's Derek Nix.
Okay.
I don't. Give me somebody on Brian Kelly's staff.
There's a good one. Let's see.
Actually, hold on. We gotta cut out like the top echelon of the SEC, okay? Because those people aren't even talking about Arkansas. Like these are people. Somebody on Drink staff said that 100%. Somebody on Drink staff.
It was probably let's be honest. It was probably Drink.
Yeah, he's probably.
I know it says an opposing SEC assistant coach, but it was probably Drink.
Pick out like the secondary coach for Mizzou, or running backs coach at Auburn or something like that.
How about I'm pretty sure
this is actually easier than we're making it. We got to get the list of former Razorback assistants that are assistants elsewhere in the SEC.
Oh, yeah.
That's who you would call to ask about Arkansas.
I think this is Jack Abercrombie at Missouri. He's an offensive assistant. He's the assistant offensive line coach.
Well,
there you go.
I think it's Jack Abercrombie.
Jack Abercrombie.
There you go. First one's done.
There we go.
What a great name.
Really?
That's
why I
a
picked it.
fantastic name. Holy.
Coach Abercrombie.
And Fish.
You think he's got a nickname? You think anybody's actually
I
saying
bet they
that?
call him Coach A or something like that.
People, you can't. Everything's got to be one syllable.
No, it does.
In football.
That's
when you're
right.
yelling and screaming
That's
and you're
right.
in a
No,
hurry.
you're right. Everything is it is the language of football.
Or it
one
can be
syllable.
it can be two. It could be like an initial, like CD.
Yeah.
You know, but you can't. You can't have Coach Abercrombie. Have you seen Coach Abercrombie?
Yeah. I mean, you just don't hear that.
I told you that story when I was coaching. We were like third grade, and we told one of the kids. In fact, it was Walker Blake. It was Lawson Blake's little brother. And I said, hey, go see Coach Sean. Go get in that group. And he's just walking around. Like 10 minutes later, we're like, what are you doing? He said, I can't find Keyshawn. And that's what happens in football.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking and yelling. You got helmets on.
So
And the call right.
those kids you coach, then when you see them now, do they call you coach?
Sometimes.
Do they?
I coached them for a long time.
I'm just asking. I mean, because you hear that in Little League.
Yeah. Well, when you coach them from like second grade
Yeah.
up to seventh grade.
Do they say Coach Bo or
Yeah,
just hey
sometimes.
coach?
Sometimes.
Hey coach.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
No, it's Coach Bo.
Okay. All right.
But they're all friends of Ty's too, so you know them their whole life.
Sure.
Yeah.
I get it.
I think I'm going in like the Boys and Girls Club Hall of Fame if you want to come.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Can we do something at the Golden Corral? Will you speak? Will you host?
I would be honored. I would be. I've hosted a lot of meals there.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'll be at home.
It's either there or Applebee's, but I don't think we have an Applebee's.
I think
here.
they shut down. They shut down.
It's too bad because we can no longer eat good in the neighborhood. Hey, nice First Security Bank hat right here.
Yeah.
How about that?
I had mine on earlier. I'll put it on
Are
again
you
before
rotating?
the show's over. Well, I didn't want people to say, "Oh, isn't that cute?" Chuck and Bub the same hat.
that's
on.
why I
They
put it
must-
on,
oh,
'cause you
really?
had
So we
yours
look
on.
like teammates.
Yeah.
Oh well. Then
Well, I mean, it's fine.
I'll put mine on
let's
again
not look
during
like
the break.
something we're not. Let's not pretend here.
I just
teammates. not on the night of the NBA draft.
Oh, it is draft day. Draft day. I forgot.
We got to do that too. Like we got to draft something today. And work on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
come up with something.
and
on
more
that.
quotes on Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
From
plenty of
anonymous
those.
coaches. Well, from Coach Abercrombie.
Well, yeah, that
I
one.
want to hear more from Jack
That,
Abercrombie.
that one was from Jack Abercrombie.
Can you put a request in, like to interview him?
Oh wow.
Would you?
Tell him he's been revealed as the anonymous source in Lindy's magazine, and we'd
Ask
like to
him.
have a
We
conversation
demand
with him.
answers.
Ask him if he has.
Jack Abercrombie.
Ask him if he has a comment. 616. Good morning.
Donuts, Red Bull, and lottery tickets. I mean, how could you want anything
Courtesy
more?
of the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Hey, you can beat inflation and upgrade your ride at Chevy of Fayetteville. Right now, drive home a brand new Chevy Silverado, Blazer, Equinox EV, or the Tough 2500 with rates as low as 1.9% APR. Plus, take advantage of huge discounts and get top dollar for your trade-in. Go see Chris, Mark, and Denver at Chevy of Fayetteville, where the deals are big and the road ahead is even better. Chevy of Fayetteville. Let's drive. Why deal with the stress of commercial travel when you can fly on your schedule with Jet Aircraft? No TSA lines, no baggage claim, no waiting around. Just you and your crew flying in comfort and style. Whether it's a weekend getaway, a golf trip, or planning your football travel for the fall, Jet makes it easy. Seats up to 9 with a full bar, custom catering, and plenty of space. Visit Jet NWA for pricing and more. That's Jet with 2 T's. It's going to be a tough slog from now till the end of time.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
The Sphere, it's hard to describe.
I
know
wanna
many
go.
people
I wanna go.
have gone.
Parade.
I mean, the seats vibrate.
I've been places where the seat vibrates.
Yeah, well,
No,
that's not
not a concert.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Wow.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that.
Well, I think we all knew that you go to the mall and you sit in those massage chairs down from Dippin' Dots.
I do like Dippin' Dots.
Just, what are you going to do today, Chuck? Oh, I'm going to go sit in one of those chairs at the mall and relax.
I had that done one time, and I swear I had no skin on my neck, the back. I mean, it was horrible. It's the worst experience of my life.
What's that?
You know, when you go in the mall and you get in that chair and they rub you down, you know, and they give you this was like years ago. This was years ago.
I was talking about the actual massage chair, like the electronic one.
No, I've never done. I don't do that.
You know, in Vegas, they'll give you a massage while
Maybe
you're
I go
sitting
to-
at the blackjack table.
Maybe I go to a different mall than you guys. I don't know.
We're in it today, folks.
Yeah.
Good morning, 6:22. When are we starting the show? We need to get on.
3,
some,
2,
we need to get on
1.
track. Okay. Welcome into the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
We're a little late.
Got to be hot today.
It is.
I watched Pascal work all day yesterday here at the office.
Really?
Yes, they were.
It feels great
listen,
this morning.
The work these people do at Pascal, I don't even know how to explain it, Chuck, but it's hot. They're in attics all day.
I know.
So we can be cooler. And I know that's the HVAC, community. But we appreciate the work Pascal does. They get it done right. They make it affordable. Everybody needs to stay cool.
They'll get up in your attic in the summer and get it done.
But there was a lot of work being done. They had to replace an inside and outdoor unit.
In this
yesterday.
building?
In this building.
Wow.
Yes. I know it's not the one here in the studio where it's, nice and 68 right now.
Yeah.
But the other side of the building, we had to get HVAC in
Where the
here.
real decisions are
Where
made.
the real decisions all day are made, not just for 3 hours.
I'll be doing
Yeah.
it. I had no idea.
Exactly. It was done.
Not that I don't think about this place
one day,
when I'm not here.
in and
but-
out.
Wow, that is impressive.
By the way, I don't know why I'm going to say this, but there's a UPS sticker on the front.
I noticed that this
And-
morning.
And we have HVAC work being done yesterday. So there's boxes and air conditioning units and
out,
stuff
all day.
all day. And the UPS guy pulls up and he says, I don't even want to deal with it.
I don't want any
I'm just
part of
gonna put a
that."
sticker on the door.
Huh. I saw it
like,
down
what do you
there.
mean?
What,
How
what,
do you
what
not
did
get in
Brown
the
do for
building?
you? Not a lot.
I can put a sticker
Not
on your
a
door.
lot.
Put a sticker on your door.
Easy.
Say, sorry we missed you.
We need them both, Bart, and Amazon. We need it all.
The situation room
Let's
is.
not
is-
get anybody. We don't want to do with any of the
And
delivery
already, I
services.
mean, we already are waiting for
We love
things,
FedEx.
You know.
We love DoorDash, FedEx, UPS.
What did we do?
What
before
was that other
DoorDash?
one still around? DHL or whatever. We love all of them.
Is
we need all of
DHL
them.
still around?
I don't know. I haven't seen.
Postal
I haven't
Service.
seen those yellow trucks in a
We need,
while. no.
we need the postal service. Yep, the NBA draft's tonight.
It is indeed.
Is Adu Thero going to get taken in the first round? I'm just trying to get us into something here.
It's just the first round tonight.
Yeah,
Correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And there's only 2 rounds.
Right.
Like,
First round
it's
tonight,
not
second
like
round tonight, or tomorrow
not
night.
like the NFL for those wondering. Most people
Not as
know,
many
but-
spots to fill.
So they're going to have the first round on television tonight, and the
Yeah.
second round made for TV special again tomorrow night. Is that
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you know? Could I do a little Adu Thero trivia here?
Please.
When he was a freshman in high school, he was the same height as me.
No.
Now, so the only difference between me and Thero was what happened after our freshman year.
the only difference.
It's the only difference.
the only.
Well, yeah,
single
like
It could be you, Bo.
Yeah, what if I'm 6'9"? I don't know if you know, Bart, but there's a lot of athleticism packed in this little 5'6" over here.
Yeah.
You know, you just imagine
Little
if it was
ball of
6'9".
dynamite
A
over
little
there.
ball of dynamite. That's right. A wadded up ball of dynamite. Completely non-flexible, wadded
Yeah.
up bundle of nerves, tendons, and dynamite. Yeah.
Yeah.
5'6".
And,
5'6"
as a
freshman year in high school.
Wow.
So he obviously wasn't getting recruited. But he's been a late bloomer really his whole life. If you go to his freshman year at Kentucky, he averaged 2.3.
I remember.
And his sophomore, 7.2. And this past year, 15 and 1 and about 6 rebounds. 15.1 and 6 rebounds for Adu Thero. That, there's a lesson in there, Chuck, right? Like, sometimes it takes time. And when you think about it like that, it's easier to see why he decided to stay in the draft. I mean, he's a junior. I mean, he'd only have one more year to play anyhow. He'd be coming back for his senior year. But it took to this year for him to actually become really an NBA prospect.
Well, some kids are late bloomers. There's no doubt about that. I'll be honest. When Cal took the job here and they said that Adu was coming, I thought, well, he'll be a nice piece. Because I'd seen him for those 2 years at Kentucky, I thought, well, he'll be a nice piece to the puzzle, but he's not going to be, he's not going to be the star of the team. And he wasn't necessarily the star, but he was one of them, and he's going to play professional basketball now. And I don't know how many people saw that coming.
So there's a chance he'll go at the end of the first round. Most likely, it seems like a lot of projections have him at the top of the second round, but we don't know what teams are thinking and what they want and for what reason. Cooper Flagg's expected to go number 1 overall. I don't think there's any question about that.
Oh, absolutely.
The Mavs completely lucked out. Congratulations to them after the most controversial or one of the most controversial trades.
The worst trades ever made.
NBA history with Luka. And so now here comes Cooper Flagg after that, and Nico looks brilliant. The GM who everybody wanted to fire.
They won that lottery.
And they don't know if they're going to have their coach because you're New York Knicks. I'm in the NBA weeds.
I know you are. Wow. What's the deal?
I must have went to Barnes & Noble and read some magazine yesterday.
NBA Today.
NBA inside stuff.
Old Marv Albert show.
Yeah.
Yes. So
that was pretty good.
Well, I mean, I was around for Marv. I got a picture of me and Marv in there in my office. I'll go get it for you. You want to see it?
That's right.
Yes. The Knicks still don't have a head coach.
Yeah, that's an issue.
They fired that guy. That Thibodeau guy.
They fired that guy. Some people are saying they ought to just admit they messed up and bring him back.
Yeah, they can't find anybody. They fired him and they can't get anybody.
Generally, when you make a change like that, after you've had a good year, you've got somebody better in mind, somebody better tied up. Maybe they thought they did. I don't know. But, this has not been, and I love them, but it's not been the most stable franchise over the last 20 years or so. That's putting it mildly. So I'm not,
Isaiah Thomas is on line 1.
Yeah. I mean, they and he's not the only one.
What is it about franchises that are high profile? I'm not giving the right word, but I'm thinking the Cowboys, I'm thinking the Knicks. The Cowboys are the most valuable franchise in all of sport, and they're not necessarily well run. I'm sorry, Jared.
It's a well-run business.
It's a well-run business.
From a football perspective, sometimes you wonder what's going on. But from a business perspective, I mean, my gosh, they got people lined up to take the tour of that stadium 24/7.
That's kind of what I was driving at. Like when you get to professional sports and you have something as like the Lakers or the Knicks, and you wonder how they don't win more. What about it? And I don't have the answer. Yeah. I haven't done some research.
I don't know that there's a simple answer, but I mean, egotistical ownership groups who don't really know what they're doing. Yeah. That seems to be a common denominator.
If we bring it to college athletics, we said things about LSU and Texas like this: they do less with more. But most college programs that have more win. And that's not always true of professional sports. And I just wonder, maybe we, I don't know.
Well, I mean, the Knicks won this year. They just didn't win the championship. And there are lots of college football teams out there that win, but they don't win necessarily the championship.
But there's plenty of years they haven't even sniffed it, right?
You're right.
Like the playoffs.
You're right.
And then, you're the Lakers, and you got LeBron, and you're just like everything imaginable. And you're not winning. And it's a little different.
You're selling for $10 billion.
10.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, interested.
Musk told me.
I want to get in on that with I guess it's already sold.
Meanwhile, the Timberwolves. Sorry, Chuck. The Timberwolves just sold for $1.5 billion.
That's still a lot, but
it is a lot.
10.5.
But it's not 10.5.
Musk told me when he worked for the Lakers that it was the cheapest franchise he'd ever worked for. That you would have to literally ask for permission to buy pencils and pens, and that you were just better off buying your own and bringing them in. I mean, he said everybody thinks it's like this rich glamour franchise. It's a family-run business, and everything that you do has to be, run up the flagpole.
Can you imagine being like a, marketing guy and you get a job with the Lakers?
Yeah.
You think
you think you've made it? Yeah.
You've made it.
I mean, you've made it.
They tell you to buy your own pencils.
Yeah. You're right. Right. I mean, I was.
Here's a $7 stipend for lunch that costs $30.
I was amazed, and you really, I think the average Joe would probably be surprised at how frugal a lot of professional franchises are. You know, people think, oh, that's where the money flows. It flows to the players. It doesn't really flow to all that many people that work there other than them.
To wind down Wednesday at Macadoodles, what to watch is the NBA draft tonight. It's on when, at what time, or where, at what time?
It's on a couple of different channels.
It's appointment television.
ESPN?
No, ESPN, ABC.
Okay.
Please tell me Stephen A. Smith's going to be there to break down each selection.
He'll be there.
Well,
You know he'll be there.
7 o'clock, by the way.
Yeah, do you have the broadcast team for us?
Let me.
What a first half hour it's been of the Chuck and Bo show today. This is Edward, don't put this in the best of for vacation. There's nothing in here.
Well, there's 30 minutes.
We
30
found.
I
minutes
thought the
of
discussion
content.
surrounding magazines was really.
Yeah, you could use that.
We also discovered Coach Abercrombie.
Yeah,
well,
Jack Abercrombie.
I don't know that any of it was good, but just put it in there. It didn't have to be good.
That's right.
It's fine.
We're just feeling tough.
I've got 15 hours.
Anyhow,
of
while Bart's
programming
looking all
still.
this up, I'll tell you that Wine Down Wednesday at Macadoodles means you get 15% off every bottle of wine in the store. So if you're planning an event or you got people coming over, maybe it's an anniversary, you want a special bottle of wine, remember on Wednesdays, you go to Macadoodles just north of the state line or Guess Who in Bentonville, and every bottle of wine is 15% off, even if it's already on sale. And don't forget they have wine tasting open to close 7 days a week. And on the weekends, they have spirit tasting. Nobody's got a better selection, whether it's spirits, wine, beer, craft beer, than Macadoodles and Guess Who in Bentonville. Competitive pricing and the best customer service you're going to find anywhere. Again, just north of the state line, just north of Bella Vista, Guess Who in Bentonville. All right, what have you figured out for us? What to watch?
So ABC's coverage at 7 o'clock is hosted by Kevin Nagandi with analyst Bob
Also
Myers.
known as Dari Noka. They always get people confuse them all the time.
With analysts Bob Myers and, unfortunately, Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, I knew it. Well, they're paying him $100 million. You got to
yeah,
get some work out of it.
Stephen A. and I are beefing right now. The ESPN
Is he
broadcast.
beefing back at you,
No,
or
I
are you just beefing at him?
I just have beef with him.
Are there times where you're vibing?
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
I think so. Okay.
What's your beef?
Well, he's taking shots at my hometown, Chuck.
Oh,
on
at
national
Memphis?
Which one?
television.
Which one?
Memphis, yeah.
When he talked about what a crime-ridden city it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he did. That's what he said.
Seriously, he said nobody wants to go play in Memphis because it's crime-ridden. When in fact, like, all these players who have come to play in Memphis have stayed there after their playing careers have ended.
Memphis is safe, is what you're trying to say.
Well, I'm not saying that. I mean, every city has its bad spots.
Yeah.
Including
John Morant. On the team.
But like just absolutely
Take the
like
Ja Morant tour of Memphis.
just so
Always-
bogus,
always-
man. Stephen A. is so bogus.
That sounds pretty accurate to me.
No,
What's he getting wrong?
Part of that's wrong.
that NBA players don't want to go to Memphis to
No,
play
they
because they
don't-
don't feel safe.
Well,
that's wrong.
I don't know.
That's wrong.
Okay.
That's wrong.
To be continued at 6:34. Good morning. You guys are part of my family. Everyone that listens to this show is just part of the Chuck and Bo family. We're building a community here.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, guys, you hear us talk about the Sweat 'Em Edge on the Chuck and Bo Show. You've got your summer lineup set, but what about your skincare? Sun, sweat, and all that time outside takes a toll. Hit up the spa at Sweat 'Em Cosmetic Surgery for a facial or sun damage repair. It's not just for the ladies, guys. Call 479-966-4174. Again, that's 479-966-4174 and get your skin in the game.
With rainy season here and summer just around the corner, make sure your gutters are ready. Hogcroft Gutters, locally owned with over 30 years of experience, does it all. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drain. Fully licensed and insured with a 20-year warranty on every job. Serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. And for a free inspection, visit hoggutters.com. That's hoggutters.com. You can tell I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
who deals with us, that will go to zero. As countries do.
One thing, but listen, what a great show. The best sports show in the state is, no doubt, the Chuck and Bo Show. No doubt about it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Arkansas picked up transfer, Ball State transfer shortstop, Dylan Grego.
All-American.
Third team All-American. Expected to be the guy behind Vahiva Aloyes. He'll be in the draft. Golden Spikes winner. 6'1", 195, 376 average, 14 home runs, 14 doubles.
15 stolen bases.
Yeah, 55 runs driven in, scored 58 runs. Drew 22 walks. Yeah, he's committed. He's committed. Meanwhile, we got the NBA draft tonight. We're only really watching from an Arkansas perspective. Adu Thero. Will he go or will he not go? Will he go in the second round?
He may be if he's taken tonight, he might be, the next to last guy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, so what?
Right.
I mean, so what?
No, I mean, he's going to
be
get
victory.
Drafted. Yeah, no, first round be great. Cal's got 17 consecutive years of having a first rounder. If you think about that, and then you think about
it's remarkable.
The transition to Arkansas and us saying things like that's probably the least talented roster he's going to have this past season, and now you're looking at he's on the fringe of maybe having a first round pick, but prior to that he had 17. And then you look at what he's got coming in, and Carter Knox, by the way, coming back. I'm still kind of stunned that Carter Knox is coming back. I saw some highlights from over the summer at all these camps and workouts, and holy crap, he looks incredible.
There's no one on the team who made a bigger jump during the season last year and since the season ended than Carter Knox. Talking about the roster and how we knew last year, suspected that in terms of, NBA guys, pros, probably fewer of those on that team than there would be on any of his teams while he's here. I just keep going back to what a really remarkable job that staff did. Now, I'm not saying there were a bunch of no-names. I'm not saying they took a bunch of no-talents and got to the Sweet 16. That's not the case at all. But when you look at a lot of his Kentucky teams, some of which made it that far, some of which didn't, generally speaking, had more pros on their roster than this past year's team did. Now, we're not going to say that again. We may say they've done a remarkable job, but we're not going to say, hey, they took a bunch of guys, borderline pros and went to the Sweet 16. They're going to have a bunch of guys we know are pros going forward.
Yeah, no question. 877-377-6963. If you want to text the show about Memphis, that will continue. We're getting that in right now. Sorry, Bart.
Chamber stuff, man.
Yeah, sorry, Bart. I have to side with Stephen A. Memphis sucks.
Well, not just Memphis sucks.
Well, I was going to let you read the rest of it.
He cut to the quick and hit below the belt when it was over because he said the barbecue sucks. So not only does you can get robbed, so you can get robbed or shot almost anywhere, and the barbecue sucks.
Jesse,
that's
Jesse, this is Jesse from Springdale. I'll see you at the Amasonic later today.
For every dispute gets settled.
Those are fighting words, my man.
The barbecue part or the robbed and shot part?
The barbecue part.
Okay, yeah. Fair enough.
Also, Greg McElroy has texted in that Applebee's in Springdale is still open.
Well,
I didn't know Greg McElroy was listening to the show or knew that much about Springdale.
Well, everyone knows where the open Applebee's is.
That's fair. That's fair. If you're an Applebee's follower, you know where it is.
That's right.
You know where it is. By the way, we should have Greg McElroy on soon. We need to just get all of our college football.
People.
We just need to start bang,
Well, we've
bang,
got magazines.
Bang.
I mean, we got all these magazines.
Yeah, we're going to do that.
I like the idea of calling an anonymous SEC coach and saying our anonymous sources say you're the anonymous source.
Yes. Do you have a comment? Would you have a comment?
Would you have a comment on
Would
that?
you like another one?
Yes.
Another
Jack,
anonymous?
We have named the first anonymous source, Jack Abercrombie.
Abercrombie. Who's an assistant offensive line coach.
An assistant O-line coach.
At Missouri.
Yeah, sources say he's the one.
John Doe is now Jack Abercrombie.
That's
Should we stick with the same magazine or go to a different one?
What do we have?
You got another quote?
Another anonymous quote?
Yeah.
All right, what does it say?
This says, with offensive coordinator Bobby Petrino, you give him a quarterback with wheels and a decent offensive line, he'll find ways to move the ball. Taylon Green is mesmerizing. Size, arm strength, scrambling ability. Having him back is big, but I don't know who he's going to be throwing to. Wow. So many new guys. And that coming courtesy of South Carolina offensive coordinator Mike Shula.
That's the anonymous name we're assigning.
I mean, you could pick that off of almost any social media board, anything. And there's there's nothing there.
Yeah. Okay, so Jack Abercrombie and Mike Shula.
Yeah, you forgot Mike Shula was back in the league.
Busted him out.
Yeah, Shula's Steakhouse. How's that doing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Keep it coming.
Those are the guys.
Keep it coming. We got to take a break. We'll come back, take some calls. Richard Davenport's coming up at 7 o'clock. That we had a discussion yesterday about where professional football players, what states they're coming from. And we actually put a clip out on social, and it elicited quite a response.
Did it?
It did. That we'll get into that maybe later. But Richard, he'll be joining us. We'll talk about just sort of the football challenge we have in our state because we don't produce a lot of NFL-type players out of this small state of Arkansas. And then later, Ronnie Brewer will join us, who also came out of this small state and was a lottery pick in the NBA draft. What's tonight like? And we'll get into the current roster as well. But all that coming up, and we'll take some calls next. Everybody's welcome to their opinion. That's just flat out wrong.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, summer's heating up, and Splash Car Wash is keeping your ride looking fresh with a special deal just for listeners of the Chuck and Bo Show. Right now, buy one Best Wash and get 2 free. One for you, one for your spouse, one for a friend, or just keep them all. It's an easy way to stay clean, cool, and cruising all summer long. That's 3 top-tier washes for just $27. Text Splash Car Wash to 22322 to access this exclusive online-only offer.
If you haven't tried a flight by Yuengling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yuengling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yuengling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer.
Hey, if you've been thinking about a new ride, now's the time to make it happen. That's because Chevy of Fayetteville is kicking off their summer drive deals with some of the best offers you'll get all year. Trailblazers starting at $23,000, Colorados from only $30,000, the new Equinox EVs from just $30,000. No matter what you're looking for, these deals are real and they won't last long. So don't wait. Head over to Chevy of Fayetteville today. Together, let's drive.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
We never thought much about power outages until we had one during the worst possible time. As a busy mom, there are plenty of challenges in a day. But with Paschal, power outages don't have to be one of them. A whole home generator installed by the pros at Paschal gave me back my peace of mind. The process was easy and understandable. Now, I don't have to worry about losing power when storms arrive. Get a free estimate today and keep the power on with a whole home generator from Paschal. Professional people, professional service. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Are you looking for tough, reliable equipment from people you can trust? WT Equipment is your local family-owned dealership with 8 locations across Arkansas. And yep, they're big-time hog fans too. From Bobcat to New Holland, Hustler, Steel, and more. They carry the brands you know and trust to get the job done. Whether it's equipment or implements, WT Equipment has the tools you need, including a full lineup of Bobcat machines built for power and performance. Stop by your nearest WT Equipment today. Does the show feel like it's always a friendly environment? I was going to say, just like
I guess it depends on which side of the fence you're on.
It's friendly. Sometimes you get yelled at, but I mean, it's still friendly.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I've discovered that if there's no food in the house, you will not eat. If you don't keep snacks, you won't snack.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Words to live by, right?
Yeah. Like I said yesterday, you don't have kids in the house.
You don't have a house full of kids. You're right.
Can't have that. Gentle Ben.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Nick Saban. Going to find out if this was fake news or whatever, because I don't keep up with things as much as I used to. But on the Facebook thing, it said Nick Saban had become the general manager, or what do you want to call that position? Where he's going to be over the NIL and the recruiting and all that kind of stuff. Is that
for who?
False?
For who?
Alabama. I'm sorry, for Alabama. For Alabama.
No, that's
false.
Not true.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those.
Sometimes
those stories on Facebook aren't real.
Yeah, well, that's why I was asking. I want to make sure, but
we've actually been we've gone on social media now. Is people? It's not even a mistake. They outright just report something that's
clickbait.
crazy.
It's clickbait.
It's not true
to get you to click on it.
And then there's also AI, which you may be familiar with, Ben, where they can use somebody's voice to make them say things they didn't actually say.
Okay.
So you really got to watch out. Like you got to be on you got to have your head on a swivel.
Okay. Well, I don't know what mine's on, but in a way I do. But what I mean is, I was just thinking that, and maybe people will disagree with me 1,000,000% and think I'm wrong. There's two left shoes, but I really thought that if he did do that, I didn't think he would still be coach at the age he is, and he's my age. Yeah. And I'm 73. I think he's around 73, either 72, 73, 74, something like that. And but anyway, I'm just saying that that I felt like he needed to step down from coaching. Retire. But I thought he could do that job because.
Well, if he wanted to do that, he'd still coach. That's actually
a fake article. Fake article.
Yeah. There's also one that has Chuck Barrett deceased, and
dead.
we memorialized him.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, if you're struggling to get your Social Security disability, or you're buried in debt thinking about bankruptcy, don't wait. You need a legal team that knows how to fight for Arkansans.
That's why you can trust Cadell Reynolds. Bill Reynolds and his team know how to get results when it matters most. Whether it's personal injury, disability, or bankruptcy, they've got your back.
Dial 866-314-3728 or visit CadellReynolds.com today.
Cadell Reynolds. Make the right call.
As a play-by-play announcer, my eyes are everything. I need to see every detail on the field to call the game the right way. So when cataracts started affecting my vision, I knew I couldn't wait. I went to Dr. Betts and the team at McDonald Eye Associates. And truthfully, I wish I'd done it years ago. The difference is incredible. The whole experience was professional, easy, and honestly life-changing. If your vision's holding you back, take it from me. Don't put it off any longer. Schedule your appointment with McDonald Eye Associates today.
Hey, it's Bo. And for me, business comes down to working with people I like and can count on. And that's Teamwork Roofing and Construction. They do what they say, they're on time, and when they're done, it's like they were never there and you have a brand new roof. Built with expert craftsmanship and the best materials. When it comes to commercial or residential roofing, get the customer care Teamwork Roofing and Construction offers. Check them out on their Facebook page, Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Built on quality, powered by teamwork.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Thank you all for your show. It's a great format in the morning. It's really nice to have knowledgeable people to wake up to and listen to. So thank you all.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
When I go to Las Vegas, it's like they keep asking, how can we outdo ourselves? And so there's another building or several new buildings every time you go. I mean, look, when you have a restaurant where they're selling $1,000 steak.
I know.
Out of a briefcase.
I know. I know.
Something's wrong with.
I'm aware
with the
of that.
world.
I'm aware of that.
Plot.
You went to that place too, huh?
We definitely. Well, it was in this.
I got sucked in.
Yeah.
I got
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Chuck.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "What's heard on the Chuck and Bo Show?"
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
I still want to know what that $1,000 steak looks like when you open that briefcase. Just, as you open the briefcase and you see that steak and you realize, man, I'm at $1,000 for that.
I don't know. It was too far away for me to even see completely inside the box, but it does make you wonder if you should do something crazy.
I can't think of much crazier than that.
I
just can't.
I found a photo.
Did you really of the $1,000 steak?
That's right.
Wow.
How big
nice.
is it? It looks like the size of an F-150.
It's a 32 ounce.
That's a lot of steak.
Oh no! Wait, no! I'm sorry. This is a 55 ounce Wagyu tomahawk steak.
Yeah.
$1,000 in a briefcase.
Well, if you think about it, Chuck, we could split it, me, you, and Bart, and it's like $330 a piece.
Well, that makes it seem like a value.
Oh, it's a value buy.
Drop that at.
Just got to know how to team up.
Yeah.
Richard Davenport's joining us, the recruiting guy, AR recruiting guy on Twitter, wholehogsports.com. RD, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, Richard.
Good morning, Chuck.
It was the annual pilgrimage of the topic yesterday, Arkansas not having enough in-state players, inspired by your article. It's not a new thing, but it's an ongoing conversation around Arkansas football, and I think it's among the biggest challenges to the Razorbacks having a football program that, I don't know, wins more than sometimes they do. And I for whatever reason, people continue to, struggle with this. And I just wonder, in your coverage of recruiting over the years, what is it about Arkansas besides population that we're not producing more NFL players on an annual basis?
Yeah, I mean, you said the top. The first thing that comes to mind is the lack of population, no doubt. Arkansas's percentage of African American population is pretty low compared to some of the other states. Arkansas outdoes Oklahoma, Missouri, and Kentucky. I believe those are the three that have a lower percentage of African American population. But you look at Mississippi; they have a much higher African American population, along with the other states. That is obviously a reason. I think those are the two main reasons. Other reasons why that you could possibly improve a little bit, but I don't think it would make a huge difference. I've talked to several people, and I've seen several kids who play basketball, who are determined to play basketball, but you look at them and you go, well, they're a tweener in basketball. Most likely they're not going to be able to do a whole lot beyond just, maybe mid-level college. But they could possibly do something, football-wise, and maybe play on Sundays. I've talked to a very respected former NFL player in Arkansas. He's talked to a couple kids that were playing basketball, and they went on to mid-major schools, but they've done playing. But he told them, you guys you guys could play possibly on Sunday, and this guy's obviously very, very well known, and that didn't resonate with him. But there are kids, and some of that also happens to be a problem with the coaches. Some coaches, they don't want to share their athletes with other sports, and that's unfortunate. Some schools have coaches, basketball and football coaches, that are willing to work with one another, and some aren't, and they refuse to allow their kids to play football, which is I think is not a good thing. They ought to have that. They ought to have that option.
Richard, I wonder if funding doesn't move toward the heart of this too, and as a result of that, development or lack of development of some of these kids as ball players, as high schoolers. And by that I mean, I'm just going to say it. You get on the western side of the state and your football staff's got 9 guys. You get on the eastern side of the state, you got a head coach, an offensive coach, and a defensive coach. And you got guys playing both ways. You got, there's such a disparity there, and I can't help but wonder if that doesn't go to part of this.
No, you're right, Chuck. That's another contributing factor. There's no doubt about that. You look at Texas and all the resources that they have. You sometimes read about Texas prospects, and sometimes people speculate that some of the kids are so maxed out by the time they finish college, as far as development, because of all the resources that they have, that they don't have a higher tier of potential going into college. I mean, I don't know if that's correct or not, but there's some speculation about that. But yeah, there is no doubt that you're right. It's some of these coaches, they're doing so many different jobs with so much less personnel, coaching staff helping them, and that there's no doubt more resources would definitely help. Again, would it be a big jump? Probably not, but it could be. We're basically Arkansas averaged one draft pick last year. In the last 10 years, basically, last year the 2024 draft was the only year from 2015 to 2024 where the state didn't produce a high school prospect that got drafted. But so you figure one guy drafted now, maybe that could bump up to 2 or 2.5 or something like that on an average. That would definitely help. But that's another reason. There's no doubt about that.
Because obviously the article focused on the number of players from Arkansas that play professional football. I don't care what state you're from, the odds are overwhelmingly stacked against you in terms of becoming a professional football player. But there's scholarships, there's NIL money, there's an opportunity to change your life to a great degree as a college player now. And so, when I talk about this and when I think about this, it goes beyond just who makes the pros. It's who's got an opportunity to play college ball, who's got an opportunity to do some things that, they otherwise would not have an opportunity to do. And so, when I look at this, it goes way beyond who's going to end up playing in the NFL someday. Yeah, well, it does, but also, it's the higher end of that. There is a lower end of a really good football player that can you be a better college program? But for those that missed it yesterday, just to give you the highlights of a couple highlights of Richard's article, Ohio produced 108 draft picks in a 10-year period. Louisiana 103, North Carolina 96, Alabama 90, Pennsylvania 81, Arkansas 17, and the bordering states of Arkansas. Mississippi had 56. Tennessee had 53. Missouri had 41. Again, Arkansas 17. Agree with Chuck that you can have players that maybe don't make it to the NFL that can be really good college football players at Arkansas. Richards, I want to go somewhere else real quick. When we posted this yesterday, we got a lot of responses like this. Well, it's really nice that we can change that now, and it doesn't matter where players come from because of NIL and the transfer portal. Has that been your experience, that suddenly changed the games and the power states that put out the most players
Because of the portal, that's changed anything? And the
I don't
balance
think
of power?
it's changed much. I don't think. I think you can just look at what since NIL started, it really hasn't changed a lot. Now it has. There's been maybe a few instances where it's helped. I mean, you look at Texas Tech. I mean, as far as the portal, traditionally they have not recruited very well. I mean, they recruited okay in the portal, but last year they had probably the best portal class in the country. One big donor, and so that can even out. But you better have somebody like that. Arkansas doesn't have anybody like that. Arkansas is in the lower SEC of the SEC in NIL money, so it's Arkansas is not in a position to benefit from that. But hopefully, with the House settlement, things will even out a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Sam has been, regardless of what people want to say, some fans frustrated with Sam. They can blame Sam. That maybe some contributing factors, the lack of the NIL, but Arkansas Edge has had. They're going on their third director, and the third director is an interim director. So there's been instability with the Arkansas Edge and trying to raise NIL. So that's also a factor. But anyway, so I apologize if I got off on that.
No, it'd be interesting because Texas Tech's supposed to be spending a bunch of money on NIL. Are they really going to be a powerhouse? I just don't see the way that you've always won in football. And I realize the portal's here now and NIL and rev share and all this. But the way that you've always won in football, and it's undefeated, is the teams with the best recruiting bases, a 250 to 400-mile radius of their campus, have always been the best programs. And until a program shows us otherwise, and I'm not talking about a one-year scenario, I'm talking about some sort of consistency, because Arkansas's had 1 and 2 and 3 year scenarios where they're in the top 15 or the top 10. But the traditional programs, and I don't know why it's so hard for people to understand, and we don't like hearing it because we don't have a solution on how to change it. And I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
You can't change. You just can't change your talent base overnight, and it's very unlikely Arkansas will be able to do it regardless, just because of the population base and the lack of African American population. So Mississippi, we talked about development and resources and stuff like that. Mississippi's one of Arkansas is maybe a notch or two above Mississippi as far as financial possibilities for high school funding and resources and stuff like that. But they put out the NFL selections because they have a much higher African American population.
I got one more question. Many people assume now, because of NIL and because of the fact money is changing hands, that every decision is transactional. That every decision a young man makes about where he's going to go play college ball is transactional, based on money, based on the best deal. How much does the heart still play in a kid's decision? Your experience when you talk to them, how often do you hear the heartstrings tugging?
That happens. I do know that some guys that are currently committed to Arkansas, NIL wasn't an issue. But the vast majority the parents and kids, for the most part, won't talk about NIL. But I have talked to some parents and they said that NIL was very important. And based on my sources, NIL is very important with most of the kids. So it's definitely.
So it is as transactional. It is as transactional then as maybe some people think.
Yeah, it is.
In most cases, I guess you could have some. That
sure,
aren't.
you have exceptions.
But
I guess.
And my last question, Richard, how do you think NIL will change based on your experience for covering recruiting, talking to athletes, talking to coaches, as much as you do right now? Now that we go into this rev share, how much does that impact NIL?
Well, I think it gives Arkansas a better chance each school obviously makes the decision of how much money of the settlement money goes to each sport. Obviously, football will get the majority of it. What will Arkansas' share be versus other SEC schools? That'll be interesting. Will we ever know? I don't know. Maybe we will. Arkansas has had the philosophy of do more with less. Will that translate over to NIL? And even if it's say Arkansas gets $500,000 less than most of the other schools, especially top tier schools, in NIL money, that $500,000 could mean the difference in possibly one or two, maybe three kids. You just never know. That it would be a disadvantage, even with just $500,000. But I think it's going to even things out a little bit better, and I think you'll see an improvement with Arkansas in recruiting going forward. Now, there's going to be under the table stuff going on, even with this, so that's you got to throw that in there. But I think it will kind of make things a little bit more even.
Richard Davenport, AR recruiting guy on Twitter, and you can read his articles at wholehogsports.com. RD, always appreciate you making time for us, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Take care. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, man. Richard Davenport, a lot of hard work. He puts into being on the phone with players and coaches all the time. And when it comes to the recruiting world, it's 7:18. We got to hit a break. We're brought to you in part by Teamwork Roofing. Where I've been telling you about them for a couple of weeks now. When it comes to roofing, you just want the job done right, and you don't want surprises. You want people to show up when they're supposed to show up. You want them to be able to deal with the insurance company in a professional manner and get everything just tidied up in a way that you don't have to do much, if anything. But they'll walk you through this entire process. They're certified in all the quality materials. And what I like the most is how they communicate. And then they leave, and you don't even know they've been there. There's no mess. There's no accidental mess left behind. It's like they weren't even there, except you got a brand-new roof on your house. Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Check them out on Facebook. Pictures, videos. Check out the quality work there. Teamwork Construction. Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Chuck and Bo Show. It's 7:19. Good morning.
We were 0-5. They put us all in the coffin. They just didn't put the nails in.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
With rainy season here and summer just around the corner, make sure your gutters are ready. Hogcroft Gutters, locally owned, with over 30 years of experience, does it all. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching, and French drain. Fully licensed and insured with a 20-year warranty on every job. Serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. And for a free inspection, visit hoggutters.com. That's hoggutters.com.
There's simply not a better shopping experience than Macadoodles. Looking for the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits? Macadoodles or Guess Who in Bentonville has you covered. With an unbeatable selection, amazing prices, and service that's unbeatable, they've got everything you need. Whether you're stocking up for a party, updating your bar, or just grabbing your favorites, Roger and the team are always there to help. Make the smart choice. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista at the state line, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
All right, guys, you hear us talk about the Sweatin' 'em Edge on the Chuck and Bo Show. You've got your summer lineup set, but what about your skincare? Sun, sweat, and all that time outside takes a toll. Hit up the spa at Sweatin' 'em Cosmetic Surgery for a facial or sun damage repair. It's not just for the ladies, guys. Call 479-966-4174. Again, that's 479-966-4174, and get your skin in the game.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You hear that? You hear that?
Back to Safe Sports Radio.
The 1-2 pitch. He struck him out swinging. Gage Wood no-hits him. The greatest game ever pitched at the University of Arkansas.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Yeah, still
Great memory. Great moment.
Gage Wood twirling a gem.
Twirling a
Chuck-
gem.
Chuck
That's
said.
exactly right. That's exactly what he did that day. Hey, I know this doesn't have anything to do with how many NFL players Arkansas produces, but every time those words house settlement come up, I just cringe a little bit more because I'm beginning to believe that there's really not going to be all that much to this in terms of leveling the playing field the way people think. The lawyers are already lining up. This thing's going to be litigated and litigated and litigated some more. Lawyers are going to get rich off this deal. And I've not seen one single thing that makes me think the balance of power is going to change. Balance of power has not changed much in college football. There's an outlier or two, but the balance of power is not going to change as a result of this. All you're going to do is guarantee that players are going to be paid $20 million now. And I'm not begrudging that. But let's not act like that's all they're going to get. Richard used the term under the table money. It doesn't even have to be under the table anymore. There's going to be phony NIL deals. There's going to be all kinds of stuff out there. Cheaters are going to cheat. I mean, they are. I mean, you're not going to stop it. Yep. And I'm just beginning to think that we're engaging in a practice of wishful thinking, that we believe that all this is going to somehow make our football team better. And maybe it will, maybe it won't. But this idea that the house settlement is the end-all, be-all, that this is going to make it fair, this is going to put everybody on equal footing, that is a pipe dream. That is not going to happen. But we've kind of kidded ourselves, I think, into believing it may.
So Edward sent something, and I think this applies earlier.
That's just my opinion.
In the group text, that the top 5 most valuable NFL franchises won a combined 29-56 last season. Only one had a winning record, the Rams. They went 10-7. The only thing, I agree with all of that, but here's what I'll say. I'd like $20.5 million to play with because I didn't have that last year, and I'd like to think I'm smarter or smart enough or I'm going to build a smarter
Well, if you were the only one that had the new money, yeah.
Well, right. But what I'm saying is not everybody's going to be smart with their money. Not everybody's going to make all the right choices. That's why I use the NFL example. But until what we've never seen is a change from what Richard Davenport wrote about, and that the power programs are the programs that produce the most NFL players out of their area. The most, 5 4-star players out of their area. A 250-mile, 300, 400-mile radius of the school. And what we've wondered is, would the portal change that? We haven't seen it. Would NIL change it? We haven't seen it. I'm not saying it can't happen in a one-time scenario, but we haven't seen some balance of power change. However, what I wonder is, with all this change, does somebody make better decisions than somebody else with their money and end up, with a better situation? But you're right. It's not going to automatically change anything because everybody's got the money, and the people that had more money are still going to have more money. So it's not like you're coming, but nobody was ever coming here, with rare exception, or BYU. BYU's trying this now. They got a 5-star quarterback. Arkansas has had a 5-star quarterback before.
BYU's got a bunch
but is it really going to change the game for BYU? Like, are they really going to become? Yeah, and by the way, they play in a conference that also allows them, to not have to win, against 5 ranked opponents to get to the college football playoff. So, and Texas Tech does too.
To me, Texas Tech's going to be a case study. I mean, you got a guy there with a big ego that is, he obviously loves the adoration of the fans because, he's the money behind changing everything, and people are loving him right now. I wonder if they're actually going to be good. They got a long way to go. I'm not knocking Texas Tech. Arkansas's got a long way to go. Lots of schools have long ways to go. But I don't care how much money they have. It's hard for me to envision Texas Tech playing for the national championship in college football. I can't envision it. I'll be honest. I just cannot envision it.
Yeah, man.
But now look, if 2 or 3 years from now Texas Tech's in the college football playoff, well, they were on to something. you know.
Well, they figured.
But to me, I'm going to be anxious to see what happens out there.
Yeah, it's changing, but what will it actually change in terms of what's been happening on the field? Obviously to be determined, but I'm saying not much.
Well, and as far as Arkansas goes, and I know there's going to be people that agree or disagree with this. Richard talked about the African-American population in our state, and I'm just going to say it. The majority of which is on the eastern side of the state. They're the ones that have to fight for every single nickel they get. They're the ones with 3 coaches on their coaching staff. On the western side of the state, you got 9 or 10. You got off-season programs. You got real weight rooms. You got stuff you do not have where the players are, and that's the truth. And people don't want to talk about it.
No, it's a political.
But it is the truth.
Issues here.
The places where the players are so woefully underfunded right now, there's no opportunity for development. And that's our fault as a state because we've let it happen.
Yeah, and it's easier to go play basketball and somebody finds you and then give you money to go play on some summer team. And so more guys who could play either end up playing basketball. And it's been going on for a while. That's an issue with inside the state that goes a little bit deeper. When you're looking for solutions on how to have better in-state talent. Hey, you want to fly like a VIP, if you want to have a memory of a lifetime, if you want to try to pull some money together and take a golf trip, maybe you just want a day away. Maybe you got to go to a destination wedding. Jet Aircraft can help you out. Pull up to the plane, they'll valet your car, they'll detail it while you're gone, full catering and bar on flight. And away you go. Memory of a lifetime. By the way, if you travel a lot, you might ask about the Jet Card membership for even more perks. Wherever you're headed, Jet Aircraft can help. JetNWA.com. That's Jet with 2 T's. 7:30. Good morning. You guys are part of my family. Everyone that listens to this show is just part of the Chuck and Bo family. We're building a community here.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
Hey, if you've been thinking about a new ride, now's the time to make it happen. That's because Chevy of Fayetteville is kicking off their summer drive deals with some of the best offers you'll get all year. Trailblazers starting at $23,000, Colorados from only $30,000, the new Equinox EVs from just $30,000. No matter what you're looking for, these deals are real and they won't last long. So don't wait. Head over to Chevy of Fayetteville today. Together, let's drive.
Know what else makes you an Arkansas Razorback fan? Going to the University of Arkansas. How about playing football for the team?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Is there anything worse than being in a line at a convenience store and you got a lottery ticket, Byron? It tests every bit of patience, religion, everything good in your life. It tests.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
The Pig Trail Nation had Isaiah Joe in an interview with Fort Smith product.
That's awesome.
Jalen Williams dropped an F-bomb in the.
I saw that.
And everybody proud.
Yeah, I saw
The
that.
mayor covered his face.
Yeah, I saw that.
You get going at these celebrations, and people lose. It's a once in a lifetime experience. Sometimes you lose your mind. But Isaiah Joe, with an interview on the Pig Trail Nation talking about Arkansas.
All the connections and the people that I made growing up, shaped me into the person and the player that I am today. Wouldn't be here without them. So just to be able to have this moment and be able to look back and say that I'm from Fort Smith, Arkansas, and I have a championship under my belt, it's an out-of-this-world experience, and I'm truly grateful for the fact that I am from Fort Smith and I get to have this journey and share it with them.
And in another part of the interview, he mentioned sharing that with Jalen Williams. And the first championship they've ever won together was
awesome.
in the NBA.
That's great.
There are a lot of, by the way, Fitz Hill, years ago, we were talking about this on the other show we had, about how many potential football players actually play basketball now. And there's a lot of guys that are, 6'3", 6'4", could really make a difference on a football field, but it's really going to be tough to get to the NBA at that size in basketball. And which is a whole other topic today about how few guys are in the NBA draft compared to where we were 3 or 4 years ago because of all the money that's in college now. And what you can, like, if you get a two-way contract in the NBA and you're part G League player, your max is $600,000. Well, that's like the average, or more than that is the average to play in college right now at a lot of places at a power conference school. And then if you're just playing in the G League, Chuck, your salary is more like $40,000. Now, remember when it'd be a dream just to get to the G League with a hope to keep the dream alive to play in the NBA?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the money in college athletics, it has changed a lot from that perspective. Sterling and Center Ridge. Good morning, Sterling.
Good morning, guys. I hope y'all having a great day. And, Bart said something interesting that just sparked me a little bit. And he's not the only one to share that opinion about the Luka trade being one of the worst trades in NBA history. It's just hard for me to sign up for it. People act like the AD is chopped liver. I mean, he's an all-NBA guy, Olympic team, and one of the few guys to win an Olympic gold medal, NCAA championship, and an NBA title. When healthy, which is, I will admit that he's been injury prone throughout his career, but when he's right, you can make a case he's a top 10 guy when he's right. And his last game with the Lakers, he was 40 and 20. His last game with the Lakers, I just seem like he's just so undervalued. I know he's 6 years older, but Luka's historically out of shape and not much of a defender on his best day. This is hard for me to call it the worst. When you think about people like Kareem being traded, when no one knows any names in the trade. Now I remember Junior Brickman being one of them, but I mean that's not gonna ring any bells. You walk around in a coffee shop. And I know Caldwell Jones was part of the Moses Malone trade. But he was a reigning MVP when he got traded to the 76ers for Caldwell Jones. And I know Caldwell's a pretty good player, but I don't believe he was an all-NBA player. I mean, I would think those are worse trades than Luka, but I digress.
I was going to say, you're getting in the weeds there, Sterling. I'm just going to be right up front with you. You're getting in the weeds there.
Yeah. I guess that's more of a me and Bart conversation off the air. But anyway.
Settle it like men later.
But to the real business at hand, I mean, we all know what the deal is on this recruiting and football and all the deficiencies and this football program being great. It's just never going to happen. I don't see it ever happening. I mean, it's going to take one heck of a coach, and I ain't saying Sam's not a heck of a coach. I'm just saying to win at Arkansas and football, you have to be a Hall of Fame coach. at baseline. You got to be a Hall of Fame coach to win for a long period of time. I mean, and win big. Yeah, you can come in here and you can have some good years here and there, but to be what we want it to be, I mean, I just see this program ever being good enough to win 10 games once every 4 to 5 years, and that's all I see. And it might be worse than that now. That's when I was growing up. I could say 3 to 2 or 4 years when I was growing up as a kid. We were pretty good, but plus we were playing in the SWC. But we had some good teams in the SWC. Everybody acted like it was pretty lousy. In my early years, Houston was good, Texas was good, Texas A&M was good. Then when SMU was paying players, they were good. So I'm just saying, I just don't see it. I think that's a day gone by, and I think we're now in a list of teams that can't win a national championship. And when before, I thought we were a team that could if everything lined up right. And I get y'all.
Well, I still think that's true.
Please don't hang up on me yet.
Yeah. I still think they are a team that can. And we'll get into this here in a second. For the people that talk about excuses, what an excuse is I don't even know how that relates to this. It's a challenge. It doesn't mean it's insurmountable. But if you don't recognize the challenge, then you're off in analysis of anything. So that we've laid the challenge out because it was written about recently. Anyhow, what's your other thought?
Well, I mean, I just wanted to hear your thoughts because I'm in and out of range.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I just want to get your thoughts.
Yeah.
But that helps me. That helps me a little bit because I used to be a guy that thought we could.
No, yeah, I still think that's true. I mean, you do. You don't. Yeah, you have a chance. I mean, Michigan has gone forever without being any good. They go win the national championship, and I know they've been a traditional power, but they also went forever without being there. SMU was in the playoff last year. SMU went away forever. They're not a traditional power, but they are an example of being able to get a handful of players in a favorable schedule in a given year. And by favorable, I don't mean they didn't play anybody, but by favorable, I mean, a team you played didn't have their best game, or you don't have to beat that many top 10 teams. You get a quarterback, you get a running back, you get a couple of game changers on defense, and everybody else is just solid. You got a chance. Not everybody is going to be at the top every year. Georgia will have another down year at some point. Alabama's going to have another down year. It's just about hitting it right. Look up Razorback baseball. I mean, you can be up there all the time. Doesn't guarantee you a national championship. They're one of the powers now. But what did we see from Coastal Carolina this year? They had a year. And I know they won in 2017, but I don't expect Coastal Carolina to be in the College World Series as much as LSU or Arkansas. 877-377-6963. We'll get back to more of your calls coming up.
Hey, the real estate game, man, it changes all the time. And we watch the news and we hear about home prices and things, and sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. When you partner with Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, you're going to get good answers, solid answers, truthful answers, answers that help you make great decisions when it comes to buying or selling a home. Maybe it's time to downsize. Maybe you need more room. Whatever your situation is, or maybe it's the first time out, partner with someone who understands the game. There's nobody better trained than a Weichert agent. They're going to answer your questions, and they're going to get you from contract to close. At the end of the day, that's what's going to happen, and you're going to feel good about it when it's over. That's been my experience, Bo's experience. It's been the experience of everyone that deals with them, and it can be your experience too. They're in Northwest Arkansas, Washington and Benton counties, Fort Smith. Got a great office up in Branson. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can log on to WeichertGriffin.com.
He's Chuck Barrett.
He's Bo Mattingly.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Are you looking for tough, reliable equipment from people you can trust? WT Equipment is your local family-owned dealership with 8 locations across Arkansas. And yep, they're big-time hog fans too. From Bobcat to New Holland, Hustler, Steel, and more. They carry the brands you know and trust to get the job done. Whether it's equipment or implements, WT Equipment has the tools you need, including a full lineup of Bobcat machines built for power and performance. Stop by your nearest WT Equipment today.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
If you haven't tried a flight by Yuengling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yuengling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yuengling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, if you're struggling to get your Social Security disability, or you're buried in debt thinking about bankruptcy, don't wait. You need a legal team that knows how to fight for Arkansans.
That's why you can trust Cadell Reynolds. Bill Reynolds and his team know how to get results when it matters most. Whether it's personal injury, disability, or bankruptcy, they've got your back.
Dial 866-314-3728 or visit CadellReynolds.com today.
Cadell Reynolds. Make the right call.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Hey, it's Bo, and for me, business comes down to working with people I like and can count on. And that's Teamwork Roofing and Construction. They do what they say, they're on time, and when they're done, it's like they were never there and you have a brand new roof. Built with expert craftsmanship and the best materials. When it comes to commercial or residential roofing, get the customer care Teamwork Roofing and Construction offers. Check them out on their Facebook page, Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Built on quality, powered by teamwork. Why don't you just kind of style it up a little bit at the game? Let's get your drip going.
Hey, I got a lot more drip than you think.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
see and hear
Tell me
things others
something I don't
see
know.
and hear.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just part of the appeal, right?
Listen.
There.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Joe is in Fort Smith. Joe, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show. What's happening?
Hey, guys. Bo, you kind of stole my thunder a little bit ago, but I remember Antonio Gates played for Stan Heath, and he was, I guess, a mediocre basketball player at a mid-major school and decided to play football after he graduated and became an all-pro tight end. I've always thought if a 6'3" to 6'7" or 6'8" basketball player would have concentrated on football back in the day in high school, they could be Power 5 football players, and just take the state of Arkansas. We probably have, aside from the Razorbacks, we probably have 10 to 15 D2 type basketball schools. I have to think there's probably 1 to 2 players on each of those teams had they decided to play football in high school. They could be linebackers, they could be tight ends, they could be linemen, because most basketball players have good feet. They're very athletic, and had they chosen a different path, I think they're really missing the boat. And I live in Fort Smith. Look at Greenwood. If you're at that school and you're an athlete at all, you're going to play football. Now, conversely, the basketball team suffers because all the athletes play football. I think if we could get that mentality in the state, and if you're a 6'6" player, whatever, black, white, it doesn't matter, you're never going to do anything. You're never going to have a chance in the NBA. But if you're 6'6", man, you could do something on the football field.
Yeah.
And anyway, you kind of said the same thing, but I've thought that ever since Antonio Gates left or played football, I thought, man, there's a lot of guys missing the boat.
Yeah. Football's so much harder. I'm not saying basketball is not hard, but like the summer, the heat, the helmet,
getting hit,
you're getting the crap knocked out of you, and you might be second team. Like you might not be playing.
Well, here's the thing, though: the idea that you shift the thought process away from being a basketball player to being a football player, that's not going to happen.
We want to win at football so bad, we'll say almost anything
right.
to make it happen.
That's exactly
and
right.
Nobody wants
we can come up with every scenario possible.
And nobody wants to hear it.
They just wouldn't play basketball.
And look, I get it, and you're not wrong, but I cited Fitz Hill. Who was a long time, power conference coach and a head coach. Who was the one that said that several years ago, and I think it's proven to be true.
I will say this: if one coach is keeping a kid from playing another sport at a high school, you're out of whack.
We're brought to you in part by Cadell Reynolds. Struggling with Social Security disability or personal injury, maybe drowning in debt, you need representation. You call the team that fights for Arkansans. Bill Reynolds and the attorneys at Cadell Reynolds, because they'll get results when it matters most. They've got your back. You don't have to face it alone. Call Cadell Reynolds at 866-314-3728 or visit CadellReynolds.com for a free consultation. Cadell Reynolds, make the right call. Ronnie Brewer is going to join us. Former lottery pick and Razorback. What's this draft-like night for the guys?
Why deal with the stress of commercial travel when you can fly on your schedule with Jet Aircraft? No TSA lines, no baggage claim, no waiting around. Just you and your crew flying in comfort and style. Whether it's a weekend getaway, a golf trip, or planning your football travel for the fall, Jet makes it easy. Seats up to 9 with a full bar, custom catering, and plenty of space. Visit Jet NWA for pricing and more. That's Jet with 2 T's.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
There's no better shopping experience than you're going to find at Macadoodles or at Guess Who in Bentonville. And every Wednesday is Wine Down Wednesday. 15% off every bottle of wine in the store, even if it's already on sale. But when it comes to selection, amazing prices, and unbeatable customer service, Macadoodles and Guess Who in Bentonville is second to none. Wine, knock up for your next party, or just stop by and grab your favorite. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
We never thought much about power outages until we had one during the worst possible time. As a busy mom, there are plenty of challenges in a day. But with Paschal, power outages don't have to be one of them. A whole home generator installed by the pros at Paschal gave me back my peace of mind. The process was easy and understandable. Now, I don't have to worry about losing power when storms arrive. Get a free estimate today and keep the power on with a whole home generator from Paschal. Professional people, professional service. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Why don't you just kind of style it up a little bit at the game? Let's get your drip going.
Hey, I got a lot more drip than you think.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
Which is worse, being shooed or shushed?
Probably shushed.
I mean, you want to start a fight at home?
Chuck, you sound like you have some
I'm
experience.
just saying. Now, being shooed for a guy, being shooed is probably worse than being shushed.
Probably so.
For a female, it's been my experience. I can only speak from experience. That shushing is worse than shooing. Shushing is, I mean, that's going to get you in trouble.
Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
Driving my son to school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "Let's turn on the Chuck and Bo Show."
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
June 25th, National Catfish Day.
Yeah, I could go for some good catfish.
National Strawberry Parfait Day. And it's going to be in the 90s again today. Yesterday was hot.
It's going to be hot today.
It's we're here. We're in summer now. And that means the NBA draft's coming up. We're going to get into that in a second.
First round.
Yep, first round tonight. Del Curry is 61. Before, there was a Steph Curry. There was a Del Curry.
I remember when Del Curry played.
I remember him with Charlotte.
Yeah.
Boy, he could shoot. He could absolutely shoot. So that's the first round tonight. We're going to get, we're attempting efforting Ronnie. And we'll talk to Ronnie Brewer about the NBA draft, what it's like to go into this first round, with the possibility of getting drafted.
Well, let me say first off, I don't know what it's like to be a possible first-round NBA draft pick, but I do know that, in the past, this time of year, when a guy goes pro, that's the first time you got money in your pocket. I mean, you get some fronted money from the agent and all that, and I mean, you're feeling pretty good. Now these guys, they've been paid before, but there's still that dream of playing in the NBA, I'm sure. And, I would imagine a dude wants to be a first-round pick. If he's not, it doesn't mean that, his soul's crushed. But I would imagine that, there's a pride factor there, not just from a money standpoint either. If you're good, you can play long enough, you're going to make plenty of money. But there's a pride factor there.
Yeah, I mean, wanting to play in the NBA isn't all about the money, right? I mean, that's part of the equation, but it's not the only thing. I mean, it's prestige, but it's also about, if you do want to talk about money, it's getting to that second and third contract.
That's right.
And when you can get the clock started, and if you're ready to go play, then you might as well go play.
Well, here's the thing about the NBA. You can be a great college player, and you're going to get paid. You can be even a pretty good college player. You don't have to be a pro. You don't have to have pro skills to get paid to play basketball or football anymore. And if you're just a good collegian, you can make a lot of money. But it is the cream of the crop. People can say, I don't like the NBA or I don't like the NFL or this and that. Generally, it's not because of the skill level. There's something else about it you don't like. The NBA players are the best in the world. Now, it's an international league now. But these guys want to go play against the best. And money's a big byproduct from that. But they're competitors, too, still, most of them.
It is crazy, though, to look at these numbers, Chuck. 2021, 363 players entered the NBA draft process.
Mm-hmm.
This year, 106 entered. That's the fewest since 2016. 51 non-international players withdrew their name from consideration during this draft process, leaving 32 non-international players, so not including all the players from Europe, guys in the U.S. There's only 32 in this draft.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. That is a crazy number given years past. And it's because if you're not going to make more money or close to it, or, it's kind of like the MLB amateur draft now. All these guys, But you got to do it earlier in the NBA. You got to withdraw at an earlier time. You can actually get drafted in the MLB amateur draft and then not sign with the team based on, what kind of money they give you or not. But this number of 32 non-international players is all we have in this draft is wild to me.
Well, and it shows that the NIL dollars have kept kids in college. Kids, American kids. It has kept them at American universities. I wonder if we're going to see more of an international flavor in college basketball now that you can get paid. We've certainly seen it in the NBA. My only issue with this, and the Boogie Flan thing kind of makes it hit home for me. I don't think a player who's not a pro should be making more than a pro. Guys are being paid like pros as collegians, but they don't have that skill level. But the players in the NBA are, just really watch them play. They are the best in the world.
Ronnie Brewer was a lottery pick, played at Arkansas. Obviously, he was drafted by the Jazz, the first team he played with in the NBA, and now he's the director of recruiting and student-athlete development at Arkansas. And, Ronnie, I wonder, thanks for hopping on with us. Good morning.
Ronnie.
Good morning. Glad to have you, man.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, we're great. We're great. I wonder what you tell these guys I know you talk to them. What are some of the things you guys talk about in this whole different world where you can make so much money in college, and the number of players is way down that stayed in the draft this year, presumably because many of them will make more if they go back to college. How do you have that discussion with them?
Well, it depends on the type of guys that you're recruiting. I had the pleasure to work with Coach Musselman, who's top tier, and I've had the blessing and the opportunity to work for one of the best in the business with Coach Cal. And we got to keep the main thing. And we're still preaching to our guys, come to Arkansas and what it's worth, and you can get an education, but we're also going to push you to develop to be the best young man that you can possibly be in the gym, weight room, the training room. Our morals are never going to change. Our guys are going to focus on what's the main thing. And when you do that, you're going to recruit a certain type of young man. But at the same time, the trajectory of how things are, it gets muddy a little bit with certain situations. But we're not going to change who we are as people. And I think that's why the standard is going to be what it is here at Arkansas. It's not going to ever. We're going to continue to push to put the best product that we possibly can on the court. And NIL just is a thing that you have to adapt and play around. We're not going to go out there and recruit kids that are their main focus is, hey, I'm trying to get the maximum money we can possibly get, because in all reality, we're telling guys that, hey, we want to help and bless you and your family. We want you to work hard, and if you're good enough at that particular time, try to go to the NBA. Everybody has goals and admirations to try to do that, and so that we're going to try to help our guys. But we're always going to keep the main thing, and that's focusing on the right now and being the best possible basketball player you can be, but also focusing on being the best basketball player you could be at Arkansas and what Arkansas has to offer, and also getting a top-tier education at the University of Arkansas.
How does Adu Thero go from being a freshman that averages 2 points a game to being a possible first-round draft pick 2 or 3 years later? You talked about development. Tell us about his.
That's exactly what it is. And I'm not going to say, hey, man, he has potential just to go on potential, because he is a player that you draft in the first round because of potential. But also, he's the guy that you draft in the first round because of his player development. So where he started and where he came from, he was a 5'8", 5'10", point guard at one point in time in high school, and then he had a growth spurt. But if you look at his body, he's worked extremely hard, developed himself to be in pristine shape. But also he's worked on himself to be like, hey, I'm a kind of shut up the doubters of, hey, am I aggressive enough to get downhill? And can I play through the bumps? Am I athletic enough to finish over people? Can I rebound outside my area? Can I block shots? Can I work on my floater? Can I work on my flip? Can I work on my 3-point game? These are all areas that we've identified of things that need to improve. And he improved coming out of high school when he was at Kentucky. But then we re-ramped it up and improved him a little bit more at the University of Arkansas. And I think he turned into a star. And it's the reason why people are talking about him and his potential. I told people for long that he's the next coming of Gerald Wallace. People don't really remember Gerald Wallace because he wasn't a superstar, but he was a player that was an all-star that helped this team win, that he was a Swiss Army knife and developed to be a phenomenal basketball player. That was our goal for him, is that's what we were going to try to do. We wanted to make you be very, 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 very good in a lot of different things and check a lot of boxes. And if you do that, that's why NBA scouts are going to look at you and want you to be on their team.
You know, you make some interesting points there because not everyone's going to be an NBA superstar. How do you stick? How do you stick for 7 or 8 years the way you did?
Well, that's one of the things, and I'm not trying to boast or brag or anything like that, but you know, our staff is phenomenal. You got a lot of guys that have coached a lot of NBA guys for the guys in the NBA, but you also have guys on our staff that has been there and done that, that knows what it takes to be successful at the NCAA level and knows what it takes to be at the NBA level. And so that's what we're pouring into our young guys every single day is, you know, we know what it takes to get there and to stick. And, you know, teams now, it's all about winning. What can you do to help the team win? There's not many guys in the NBA draft that is going to come in and be a superstar. There might be a few. I'm not knocking any of the guys, but there's a couple guys early in the draft that can be superstars. But for everybody else, you have to find your niche to be a glue guy and help a team win. They already have superstars. They already have guys that are making so much money that you might necessarily not come in there and be like, hey, I'm going to take more shots than this superstar guy that's on this team. But I can step in day one and help make this team win. Be a positive guy in the locker room, you know, being a utility guy to do anything and everything that the team might need to help me win. If that means I need to be a defensive stopper or I need to be a rebounder or a passer, you have to find your niche. That's what we're teaching our guys. Find one thing that you do really, really well and stick to that and master that, and that's how you get multiple contracts year one and first, second, third, fourth contracts and make a lot of money to change the trajectory of your families. And that's what Coach Cal's really trying to do, is change the trajectory of a lot of our student athletes' lives and their families for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, certainly a track record of doing that. Ronnie Brewer's with us. Hey, how about Carter Knox? Like the development of his freshman year, and now I'm just seeing all of these highlights coming out of the draft workouts and the combine. And, I mean, the guy looks like he's hit another level since the season ended. I was kind of surprised he came back. I know Razorback fans are pumped about it. I'm sure you guys are. But we could just speak to how his game has improved.
His game has improved a lot. You know, Carter's the LTE, you know, he has a large following, and, you know, young kids have watched his development at that place. They do a great job. And then he took that to, you know, he signed with Kentucky, but then he, you know, actually obviously followed Coach Cal to Arkansas, and had a great year. At first, it was a learning curve, just like any other thing, trying to find his way, find his niche. And I think he hit his stride towards the end of the year. And he started playing really, really well, played well in some big games, played well in the NCAA tournament. And he came with the mindset of, I want to build off of that. And we knew what he needed to add to his game. And is kind of a light bulb click. He dropped some weight, got stronger, and started actually doing the things that we were asking him to do consistently on a day-to-day level, and that's why he made a superior jump. That's why we're super, super duper excited for him to be back. And I think Razorback fans have a lot to look forward to and like a lot to be excited about because Carter Knox is playing some of the best basketball he could possibly be, and we have a lot of pieces on this team that's going to make us a strong team. But Carter Knox has developed and putting the work in that he needed to do to develop to try to reach his goals and aspirations. I think the NBA draft, where you can see where your status is and where you're at, I think that's a phenomenal situation for young players to be able to see what it takes to try to get there, then to come back to college and then take what the development and the criticism and the pros and cons they told you, and you were able to bring it back to us, and we were able to tell you, hey, this is the feedback we got, and be able to show you, hey, this is what you need to do to try to get to the next level. And he's doing exactly that. He's checking all the boxes. He's looking great, and I'm looking for a huge jump for Carter Knox this upcoming season.
Hey, before we get you out of here, do you remember this night? Doesn't seem like that long ago for you.
I'm at the age now that it was a long time ago. But again, tonight, I know they're changing from a 2-day event tonight and tomorrow. Well, you were there with me the whole ride, and saw everything, the ups and downs, and people calling and last-minute interviews and stuff like that. It's a stressful situation going through the NBA draft. You worked so hard for this day, getting invited to the green room. For me, it was everything I could dream of. Even though it was stressful because I went 14, but I was projected top 10 pick. People fell. That's the greatness about the NBA draft. It's not going to go according to plan. There might be one or two players in this draft that actually knows, hey, this is where I'm going. Everybody else, it's a coin flip. Again, there's a lot of great players in this draft. We played against a lot of – we got to see up close and personal of a lot of guys that are going to be drafted in the first round. Adu Thero is as good as any other player, deserves to be drafted. We have a lot of other guys that are willing and able and should be drafted. Nelly Davis had a phenomenal year for us. Started off slow, ended with a bang, and almost willed his way for us to beat Texas Tech to go to the Elite Eight. Jonas Adu was hurt all throughout the season. Got healthy down the stretch, played really, really well. Those guys are deserving to get drafted. But it's a big night for all those guys and their peers. They put a lot of work. They've been playing basketball for their entire life. And for the night to hear their name get called, it's a moment that you can't ever simulate. For me, it was the best moment of my life, my family's life, and it changed the trajectory of my life. And to me, it was always good for me personally, and the tradition is going to continue to keep on going. When they say, either from Fayetteville, Arkansas, or from the University of Arkansas, man, that's such a blessing because that shows that, whatever they're doing here and what we're doing, we're doing the right thing, and we're going to continue the right thing. And back then when, Coach Heath was with me, Coach Telefero, they did the right thing with me, and I got my name called, and it was a blessing that I can never explain.
Yeah, 10 years in the NBA, and now here you are back at Arkansas doing your thing. Well, thanks for hopping on with us, man. Appreciate the time and your perspective today.
Man, I really appreciate y'all, man. I'm looking forward to watching the draft, and I hope I can hear a couple guys from the University of Arkansas being called.
Absolutely. Ronnie, thanks
Thank you,
again,
Ronnie.
man. Appreciate it.
That was good.
Ronnie Brewer with us on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, before we go to a break, I want to talk to the people that are doing the work. I mean, people that are outside today, people that are working on the farm, the job site, working on your land at home. WT Equipment. You probably already know about them. They've been around a long time. Williams Tractor was what they were known as in Northwest Arkansas for years and years. WT Equipment, though, is the name to remember now. They've got 8 locations across the state. Yes, they are proud Hog fans too, but they're really known for their top-notch service and their community roots. They offer a full lineup of trusted brands: New Holland, Hustler, Steel, the legendary Bobcat. They've got an expert staff, so visit your nearest WT equipment location and experience service that works as hard as you do.
We're a little bit over our head
Well,
here,
I
but
know.
we're doing the best we can. We're doing the best we can.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
As a play-by-play announcer, my eyes are everything. I need to see every detail on the field to call the game the right way. So when cataracts started affecting my vision, I knew I couldn't wait. I went to Dr. Betts and the team at McDonald Eye Associates. And truthfully, I wish I'd done it years ago. The difference is incredible. The whole experience was professional, easy, and honestly life-changing. If your vision's holding you back, take it from me. Don't put it off any longer. Schedule your appointment with McDonald Eye Associates today.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Hey, it's Bo. And for me, business comes down to working with people I like and can count on. And that's Teamwork Roofing and Construction. They do what they say, they're on time, and when they're done, it's like they were never there and you have a brand new roof. Built with expert craftsmanship and the best materials. When it comes to commercial or residential roofing, get the customer care Teamwork Roofing and Construction offers. Check them out on their Facebook page, Teamwork Roofing and Construction. Built on quality, powered by teamwork. Today's been a strange day.
Yeah, we've had some struggles here and there.
Just
let's just be blunt. Can we be blunt?
Well, it's 50-50 at best.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
14th pick in the 2006 NBA Draft, the Utah Jazz select Ronnie Brewer from the University of Arkansas.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That's a special night for anybody. Ronnie's unique, being from Fayetteville and having that happen and now being back here. You can hear his admiration for being a part of this staff and the way they do things. And I think there was some stuff in that conversation that there's a lot said, but extracting a couple of things here, Chuck. Cal and his staff want to recruit and bring players in who want to go play in the NBA and have second and third year contracts. That doesn't mean they're all going to be superstars, but that's what they're pitching in the recruiting process. Not come here, we're going to pay you more money than you can make somewhere else. Not every coach has the ability or the resume to be able to do that. And ironically, in the sport that feels like it's the most well-funded from an NIL perspective, and this is prior to the rev share coming in, it sounds like they're being as, I don't want to say frugal, but responsible with the way they go about NIL. They're not trying to outspend people, but they're playing ball and they're hitting a certain level. But their pitch is more about come here, develop, and then go have a huge career in the NBA. Don't come here to make the most money of your life.
Well, you're right, but now we're not going with empty pockets. Let's don't make it sound like we're walking in there poor boy.
If that's what it sounded like, I did a terrible job. I'm saying they're not trying to outspend other schools. They're going to play the game at the level, at an average level. But where some schools might pay $3 or $4 million for a player, as it's been reported, Arkansas is going to pay maybe $1 million, $1.5 million tops for a player. But what they're saying is you're getting all this other value when you come here. We're going to develop you, which is, I think it's an interesting approach that Cal can have because, and I think it's the right approach because those are the guys you want. Those are the guys
you've got to fill out your roster. You can't just have one or two $2 million babies and expect to win a championship. What Ronnie talked about a minute ago about guys sticking in the NBA, it applies, I think, to every level of basketball. I mean, you've got to find your niche. You've got to find your role. We're about winning. Yes, they want to send guys to the NBA. Yes, they want to change lives. But you don't get those kids to come play. You don't get a chance to change their lives unless you win. That's just the truth. And you've got to recruit the type players. Their approach certainly helps. They recruit the types of players who come in and fill the niche, fill the role. That's what they teach them. Ronnie was talking about it a minute ago, and it leads to what you're talking about, second and third contracts. Again, you may not be all NBA. You may not be an all-star. But you get a second and third contract, you're going to be set for life.
I wonder what it's going to be like this time next year in the NBA draft for Arkansas.
A lot different. We're not going to be talking about is this guy, is the one guy going to be
first round pick?
Yeah, borderline.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to be talking about that.
Maybe 3.
Maybe more.
Maybe more.
Maybe more.
Like Carter Knox is a first rounder next year.
Yeah, both the two freshmen are.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see.
At least 3.
We'll see, but if you
as of right now,
but now we thought Boogie Flan was going to be an automatic too.
As we do with everything, it's way too early.
Things can change,
but there's way too early. Like Joe Lunardi has Arkansas as a 5 seed in the NCAA tournament next year.
Boo!
Yeah, way too early. It used to be. Hey, there was a time here. If I said that, everybody would be excited. Now we're like, hey, shut up.
You're not giving us enough
Whatever,
credit,
man. We're better than that.
Giving us enough credit.
Come on,
Lunardi.
Hey, if you're getting together to watch the NBA draft tonight, maybe you're going to walk-ons or somewhere else, ask about Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. 95 calories, but tastes like a Yingling, 4.2%. ABV, this is a premium refreshment. 6 generations in the making. You can get out there and raise a glass, raise a flight, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer.
I don't need Chat GTP. I've got Chuck GTP.
Amen.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
At the Stonebreaker Hotel, we believe in the art of gathering, whether over a thoughtfully prepared meal or a quiet moment on Markham Hill. Start your day with breakfast classics from the all-day menu, served from 7:30 to 1. Savor shareable bites from the bar and lounge menu until 10. And let the dinner menu from 5 to 9 bring familiar flavors with a fresh twist. And for a weekend well spent, how about brunch? Rooted in connection, designed for comfort. Learn more at StonebreakerHotel.com.
I'm amazed at the number of people who think they're smart.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Goodbye. They're leaving. They're leaving. They're mass exodus.
They're heading for the exits. Can you believe it?
Goodbye.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
We need to go back to the Chevy of Fayetteville situation.
Yeah, I want to hear some more anonymous
Bart
coach
has
stuff.
some football magazines.
We got away from
preseason
that,
football
didn't we?
magazine. Yeah, we did. We when we got into this, we got into like the lab today.
We just went
This has
walking
been,
through the
like,
woods, man.
most
I mean, we just
deep-
went walking through
we
the
were
woods.
so in the woods today. I mean, the weeds doesn't even come close. I am like, holy smokes, my brain hurts. Phil Steele's magazine's not coming out, for another week or so. But man, you got Athlon. What do you got over there, Bart? Athlon and what else?
Lindy's.
Lindy's.
Oh, yeah.
The staple.
Oh.
Would you like something from Athlon or Lindy's?
Well, we just want you to give
I
us
want to
some-
hear an
give us some
anonymous
notes.
coach say something
Okay.
bad about somebody else.
All right, here we go. This is an opposing SEC assistant coach on the Razorbacks.
All right, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
They need better offensive line play.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
And they don't.
How insightful.
And they don't have SEC level talent up front on defense. The receivers are solid, and Taylon Green is solid, but they couldn't protect him, and they would get into trouble in third and obvious situations.
Wow.
Now, just out of curiosity.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. I mean, when you say things like the receivers are solid, I would like to, okay, coach, name me two of them. I mean,
How about, my favorite was they get in trouble in third
Yeah.
and long and obvious situations.
Yeah, who
Like,
doesn't? I mean,
okay, all right. Where are you picking that anonymous
who's that
coach
guy?
from?
Well,
who do you suspect that was?
I think that's Jacob Peeler,
Anonymity.
the assistant wide receivers coach at the University of Missouri.
Okay, he's the guy.
Who?
He's the one.
Jacob Peeler, assistant wide receivers
So we
coach
have,
at Missouri.
you got Mike Shula so far.
Abercrombie.
We're attaching names. We're making
We're
up
making it
names,
up.
to like who we think
Or-
the anonymous source is.
So I'm saying this is Jacob Peeler at Missouri, or this could be Charlie Weiss Jr.
Oh,
Yeah.
why not?
He's a notorious talker.
Why not?
Also, as I'm going through this exercise, did you guys know that Paul Rhodes is at Mississippi State?
I did see that. Paul Rhodes, man,
Senior
there's
defensive
a blast
analyst.
from the past right
Him
there
and
now.
Mike McIntyre, a defensive analyst for
Former
the Bulldogs.
Colorado coach?
Colorado State.
Colorado
Yeah.
State.
Are they
all
saying
right.
these are assistant coaches in the league?
No, former Colorado coach. You are
All
right.
right.
Yeah. Opposing SEC assistant
Yeah,
coach.
okay.
It could be anyone. It could be a GA. It could be anybody.
Yeah.
It
I
could be Chad Bumpus.
I want
Is
to
it
call
Chad
him up.
Bumpus?
I want to
Ooh,
call
I
him
don't
up.
know.
Hey, our anonymous sources say you're the anonymous
Yeah, exactly.
source.
Exactly. Do you have a comment on being the anonymous source?
I don't know. They seemed pretty sure it was
We're
you.
going to run the story.
Is
I-
it Joe Judge? It could be Joe Judge.
It might be. We're going to run the story. We just want to give you an opportunity to deny or confirm.
Who's the first guy we had?
Oh, our guy,
about
Jack Abercrombie.
Jack Abercrombie is the first anonymous source. Mike Shula.
Oh, gosh.
And who's the last one?
Jacob Peeler.
Do we have
Jacob
legal
Peeler.
representation here? Do
Is
we?
Rick Jones in here somewhere?
Yeah, Rick. Yeah.
Special assistant to Eli Drinkwitz?
Yeah.
It might have been Rick Jones. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, why not? Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room. If you've been thinking about a new ride, now's the time to make it happen. Summer drive deals happening now. You can drive off in a brand new Trailblazer for $23K or grab a Colorado for $30K. The Equinox EV finally here. Sleek, efficient, starting at $30,000. One day I said I said it was $30,000 off.
Yeah. They texted you, didn't
Heck
they?
of a deal.
Yeah. We got a text from
Heck of a
them that
deal.
I
day.
was like, hey, I'll get them in there. You figure it out.
Hey, if you want to know if
Chris,
anybody's
Mark, and
listening,
Denver.
stay.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if they're paying attention or not. I'm
Yeah.
going to say there's $30,000
Just go in
off.
there and-
We'll
just
find
go in
out.
there and see. They'll do the best they can. I promise you that.
That's funny.
Chevy of Fayetteville together. Let's drive. It's inside the Fayetteville Auto Park. What else you got over there? Do you find
you want-
anything
you
else
want another
interesting? I mean, they don't have
I mean,
to
you got
all
two
be
full
anonymous.
magazines.
By the way, they don't have to all be anonymous quotes. If you got anything else interesting in there, we'll take that too.
Okay. How about how Athlon ranks Arkansas's positional groups in the SEC?
That's always exciting.
Oh, yeah.
What do they
That's
have?
always
What do they say?
Quarterback 7th. Running back, 15th.
See that, like, really?
Just let me keep going. Wide receiver, 13th. Offensive line, 13th. Defensive line, 14th. Linebacker, 12th. Defensive back, 15th.
I don't like that magazine. Piece of junk.
Do they have a record? Do they have a record there for them?
Let's see. No, but they do predict them 13th in the league.
And which magazine is that?
This is Athlon.
Athlon.
Right here. Yeah.
By the way,
it's a nice looking magazine.
Is that Arch on the cover?
It is Arch, and I believe Nussmeier and Ryan Williams.
I saw today somebody attributed this to Steve Spurrier. That Steve Spurrier said everybody's excited about Arch Manning, but he was the backup to a guy who went in the 7th round of the NFL draft.
Yeah. The ball coach bringing it home, man.
Yeah.
I like it. So if he's so good, how come they played the other guy all year?
Quinn Ewers all year.
I would just like to point out, I will shout out to this magazine, though, because they have opposing coach views for everybody. Like, you want to know about Louisiana Monroe? They've got an opposing Sun Belt coach on Louisiana Monroe.
Haven't won in forever.
Definitely the biggest culture change in our league last year, and maybe all of college football. This job didn't get any easier, but Bryant Vincent just works his butt off. They're grinders. They're really connected in recruiting, and they've kept a few of their good players from jumping into the portal after they showed out last season.
Man.
That's maybe the most impressive thing they've done so far.
I bet you Butch Jones said that. Well, okay, what are they saying about Butch Jones at Arkansas State?
What are they saying about coaching
Red Wolves.
champions for life?
Let me hear you howl. Come on, let's go. Give me the Red Wolves.
Let's get to this. Is not an alphabetical
Let's get
order.
into Arkansas's schedule a little bit here.
Okay, Arkansas State. There's been a lot of coaches picked off that staff for jobs at bigger places, which is a sign of respect for what they're doing, but it's going to be hard to adjust. They're changing over most of the defensive staff, with Rob Harley going to Northern Illinois. Butch Jones rebuilt the program from scratch, and they're back above 500, but they're still not top-end team in this league. That's the next step for them. Give Butch credit for taking it slow and really leaning in on high school recruiting. For a while there, they were throwing a lot of their young guys into the fire. Now it's paying.
You don't want to be good too soon. It's nothing worse than that.
Taking it slow. Give Butch credit for taking it slow.
Yeah.
Give him credit.
Easing into it.
Taking a while to get there.
This is amazing. You give me a team, I can give you what an opposing coach thinks about
Did
them.
anybody say anything good about Arkansas? Who are these guys? That's what I want to know.
Let's see here.
Who are these guys?
We're going to out them.
I mean, really. And by the way, they don't necessarily, I mean, I guess they know who Arkansas recruited to some extent, but they don't really, with the portal, you don't really know how guys are going to show up.
You and I both know a real coach is not going to, even anonymously, going to say something bad about another program in the league that they're going to have to play. The guys that say stuff like this are the fringe guys that never get any attention. It's like, he wants to know what I think.
What if we find out?
Here we go.
Remember, there was a story out a decade ago that airborne, like emergency, the powder that you put in your water, there's airborne. There was a study that it absolutely did no good for anything. Like a decade ago. I don't know if they've improved or what, but at that point it was like it's kind of like the blue screen glasses.
Right.
Like survey studies have said that they don't really help. They don't really matter at all.
It sort of makes sense as, I'm going to buy that.
In 5 years, we're going to find out that this whole Athlon thing was a joke and that somebody made it all up.
I think
and they didn't have a single coach ever.
I think you may not be far off there, just to be honest.
What if that happened?
I think all this stuff's made up. I think it's all a figment of somebody's mind. I've never believed this stuff.
All the anonymous stuff.
It's ridiculous.
There's no accountability
it's the
to it.
stupidest thing in the world. But
Let's
if you
talk some
are
more
mad
about
at if you're mad at your coach down on your program, and an anonymous coach says something that you agree with, see everybody in the league saying the same thing.
Every anonymous person in the whole league thinks that.
That's why they put this in there, because they know there's going to be 16 mad fan bases. Go ahead, Bart. Sorry.
How about a veiled shot at Brian Kelly?
Here we go.
Oh, look, now you're gloating.
Yeah, well, this is what.
Are you quoted in this magazine? I just want to know that.
No.
Bart's the anonymous coach.
But this is what an opposing assistant said about Notre Dame. Okay, They might have had the same ending in a national title game, but football people understand the difference between the kind of roster Marcus Freeman has built versus the staff before. National titles are the standard here, but this is definitely a changed program for the better.
Whatever.
Hey, by the way.
This makes me laugh.
Yeah, Brian, look, I'm no Brian Kelly fan, but it's not like he went 2-10 every year at Notre Dame.
No.
Go to the Oaklawn Sports app and place your wagers now on the anonymous quotes and how they impact how you feel about win-loss totals. Anonymous quotes, changing the game. Oaklawn Sports, if you don't have it, you can download it today and get $1,000 in bonus bets. Just go to the Oaklawn Sports app on the Google Play Store or Apple App Store. Download it and get your $1,000 in free bonus bets. Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with the brand you trust. You can bet with Oaklawn Sports. Chris in Fayetteville, you're on the news, weather, information station.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, we're full service, baby.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, summer's heating up, and Splash Car Wash is keeping your ride looking fresh with a special deal just for listeners of the Chuck and Bo Show. Right now, buy one Best Wash and get 2 free. One for you, one for your spouse, one for a friend, or just keep them all. It's an easy way to stay clean, cool, and cruising all summer long. That's 3 top-tier washes for just $27. Text Splash Car Wash to 22322 to access this exclusive online-only offer.
If you haven't tried a flight by Yingling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yingling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yingling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer.
We never thought much about power outages until we had one during the worst possible time. As a busy mom, there are plenty of challenges in a day. But with Paschal, power outages don't have to be one of them. A whole home generator installed by the pros at Paschal gave me back my peace of mind. The process was easy and understandable. Now, I don't have to worry about losing power when storms arrive. Get a free estimate today and keep the power on with a whole home generator from Paschal. Professional people, professional service. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, if you're struggling to get your Social Security disability, or you're buried in debt thinking about bankruptcy, don't wait. You need a legal team that knows how to fight for Arkansans.
That's why you can trust Cadell Reynolds. Bill Reynolds and his team know how to get results when it matters most. Whether it's personal injury, disability, or bankruptcy, they've got your back.
Dial 866-314-3728 or visit CadellReynolds.com today.
Cadell Reynolds. Make the right call.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
With rainy season here and summer just around the corner, make sure your gutters are ready. Hogcroft Gutters, locally owned with over 30 years of experience, does it all. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drain. Fully licensed and insured with a 20-year warranty on every job. Serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. And for a free inspection, visit hoggutters.com. That's hoggutters.com.
So I spent yesterday, you mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
When Chuck and I started the show, he said we want to deal with smart people, smarter than us. It's going to take a while for them to show up because they've been dumbed down, but they'll show up.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Chuck's all about the Cardinals right now.
I am, man. Don't look now, but somebody let the Cardinals get hot.
Oh, how about you? How about this time of year, or the rest of us that are like stuck in college athletics? We're just talking about what everybody's saying. All the meetings, are we going to expand the college football playoff? What's the format? Are we going to expand March Madness?
They're going to expand March Madness. That's coming. That's done. That deal's done, and it'll happen. It'll be in place next year.
What is
Write
your
it down.
aversion to that, Bart?
There aren't that many teams worthy of being in the big dance. They already are it's pulling teeth trying to find 68 teams.
Oh, he's right.
You get these, and all they do is they're just creating more inventory for the power conference teams. It's like, oh boy, man, I can't wait to watch 17 and 15 Wake Forest play in the NCAA tournament. Get out of here, man.
Here's what I'm a little unclear on this is when it passes,
what a joke.
And it's going to, and I agree with you. There's no reason to do it. It's not broken. Don't fix it.
Right.
Are we adding another week? Are we adding another week to this? We got to have more time to get into this tomorrow. I don't know the answer. Are they adding another week?
I think what they're going to do is add another play-in site.
Well, if you add 8 more teams, you got to have 4 more games.
Yeah, so I think you're looking at, I don't know how they would stagger it TV-wise, but the way I read it was they would have another site with 8 teams at it.
And
I got you.
Here's the thing.
Or 6 teams, whatever they end up
The teams that
with.
it's not fair to are the smaller conference teams that win their conference tournament that are probably now going to be relegated to a play-in spot for a 14
So you're going to
seed
have
or
all
something
these
like
games on Tuesday and Wednesday night of that week?
There is a scenario where they only add 4 teams. So they go from 68 to 72.
I mean, why are you adding a problem to something that is not problematic?
It's called college athletics.
Jeez, administrators got to
The
administrate.
adults in the room.
Tomorrow we'll know if Adu Thero went in the first round of the draft. Until then, have a great Wednesday.
Why deal with the stress of commercial travel when you can fly on your schedule with Jet Aircraft? No TSA lines, no baggage claim, no waiting around. Just you and your crew flying in comfort and style. Whether it's a weekend getaway, a golf trip, or planning your football travel for the fall, Jet makes it easy. Seats up to 9 with a full bar, custom catering, and plenty of space. Visit Jet NWA for pricing and more. That's Jet with 2 T's. As a play-by